Welcome to another edition of Facts and Fit Testing. My name is Luke Allen, president of OHD, and today I'm joined with Booth Armstrong, our national sales manager. We've been going through different requirements of fit testing technologies, and today we're going to be talking about the requirement of consumables. So, Booth, if you want to jump into controlled negative pressure for us, tell us a little bit about that technology and what's required.
Very good. Controlled negative pressure is the patented OHD quantitative fit testing technology. And regarding consumables, that's a neat advantage to our technology. Our technology requires no consumables to accurately and effectively challenge the fit and integrity of a respirator. So that's a huge advantage of our technology. As we go through the operational differences of the recognized methods today, I think that you'll be able to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really it for controlled negative pressure. So let's move to ambient aerosol.
Yep.
We covered this in other videos. Ambient aerosol is a technology that uses particulates in the ambient air, compares them to particulates inside the mask, and tells you if you have too many particles or a leak, and gives you fit factor and pass or fail on the respirator. It's really that easy. But the requirements there are you have to have enough particles, which we cover in another video, but then you lead into consumables to run this. So the first consumable is you have to have something to coat the particles. So Booth, what does that lead us to with the isopropyl alcohol?
Yep, absolutely. So when challenging a respirator with ambient aerosol technology, you have to have a isopropyl alcohol to coat the particles so they can be effectively counted. So what that looks like is we'll pull up a quick diagram out of one of your ambient aerosol user manuals here. You'll see that it's a multi-step process to manage this alcohol properly, but the long and the short of it is you're going to have an alcohol container. It will contain a wick as this, and that wick has to be coated with alcohol right and then installed into the instrument. If you don't have that isopropyl alcohol, you won't be able to effectively test that day. So it's a consumable that you have to keep on hand to operate the instrument properly.
Yeah, that's awesome. And obviously the wick's got to saturate for a certain amount of time and so on and so forth. So yeah, a number of steps you have to go through just to get the alcohol step ready for testing. So the next big thing is a consumable that we would refer to as probes or probe components. And we have a great video that you can check out on the full details around probing respirators. So check that Facts and Fit Testing video out there. But what Booth's put out for us here is the components that go into running an ambient aerosol instrument.
Yep.
So you have to have extra tubing. You have to run this tubing for every single fit test. Each one of those tubes has to be run into the breathing zone of the mask.
Yep.
And a lot of people miss that step. Again, check out the video where we go into depth on that. But it's not just the tube component that's a consumable. You have to have the suction cups, the little metal pieces that you put in there every single time. And so the requirements here are not just a cost one, it's also a time one.
Yeah.
So in between every fit test, you have to recut, reassemble, rerun these. Obviously you don't want to reuse these. These have been in the breathing zone of a test, so these need to be discarded in between fit tests. But that's a big consumable that adds up over time and requires your time to be used to put those together.
Yep, and we'll throw a slide up real quick for you where you'll be able to see a little bit of a detail from one of your ambient aerosol manufacturers on what it would look like to purchase one of these probe kits. So that's great. I think the next thing that we would transition to as a consumable is a little bit of a unique consumable, and that would be filters. So anytime you do an ambient aerosol test, you have to have a P100 filter connected to the respirator. Now many organizations don't feel comfortable with sharing these P100 filters in between fit tests because of cross-contamination concerns. If I was doing a fit test and I coughed or breathed on these filters and there's no way to decontaminate or clean these filters, if Luke was to do a test next, does he really want to breathe through the same filters? So in some cases, even the filters can be a consumable, and you'll need to replace those in between fit tests, and that's on a case-by-case scenario based off of that organization's comfort level there. So
yeah, absolutely. And so those are some of the main consumables. There's a few more, but we wanted to highlight the main ones today. What we'd encourage you to do is get more information on the two technologies, really understand them and understand what's required, not just by what you've been trained on, but also what's in the manual, what's in guidances. We'd love to be a part of that process to help you out. Thanks for joining us today on Facts and Fit Testing.